In Asia, what we have really special is what we call the pick, which essentially is taking a peek in the back door, the backstage discussion on the startup. So let's welcome the judges on stage again to share a comment on what they think about the startup. Okay, so we have 5 startups today. So let's start from the top. So the first one was Make Social, social media visual content management and publishing software for brands and agencies. So what do you think of that startup? Do you think that they're good, they're bad, going to fail, going to succeed?
I really love the concept. I think that as bandwidth continues to increase, and we have LTE and fiber optic, like people are really consuming media, not just text. So you're getting video, you're getting pictures, and having the right system to manage and publish that is super important. One thing that I am concerned about is that as a B2B business, businesses tend to adopt new technologies a little bit slower, and so their sales team is going to have to be really talented to woo in these businesses, and they need to really talk about like a trial period or like an ease-in period to hook on the enterprises as they pick them up.
Okay.
Yeah, to jump on what you said, I think for a productivity tool, which is how they want to position themselves, I think they're quite expensive in terms of what they're asking. I think today in a world where everything is free and productivity tools are readily available and very cheap, I think it's going to be tough for them to make a mark. I did like the presentation. I think it was clear. We understood where they're going. But I think it's going to be very hard for them to make a mark and penetrate a space which, in my view, is extremely competitive.
No, actually, I agree with John in that in this day and age of kind of an overload of social media content, a usable tool which makes it seem quite clean and quite straightforward to manage all that content is definitely really useful.
Okay, and after that we heard from EasyCare, the Asia's O2O platform to serve the short-term and emergency household healthcare need in the community. Comments?
Yeah, I like that business a lot actually. I think they're solving a problem. It's healthcare, which is becoming increasingly dominant in a world where the third age is actually increasing, whereas the younger generations are decreasing. So I definitely think there's an interesting addressable market size. Definitely on the positives, I see it's scalable. Then we have to ask ourselves how they're really going to monetize in the long run, and what kind of competition they will be facing as well. Because their competition is the offline, and I'm a bit wary in terms of their sourcing capabilities of caretakers.
And to that point of sourcing, I saw that the caretaking platform is very broad. It includes from specialist caretaking all the way to just simple tasks. And with sourcing being an issue, I would think about focusing on one particular vertical for the time being and get that really going to build up a user base before you consider applying it for another service vertical.
Yeah, and one last note is that with every sharing economy / Uber for X type of venture, one thing that's always really important is the liquidity of the market. And so Uber and Airbnb works because people take Ubers almost like every week, they vacation very frequently, but how often do you need healthcare? And when you do need healthcare, how often are you going to think of using an app platform to provide that for you?
Okay, and then we heard from Nexo, an online peer-to-peer lending marketplace for Asia.
Sounds risky legally, but I'm not a lawyer, so.
We have a lawyer here.
No, I mean, I'm not issuing any opinions here, but the way it works to me, I don't see any big issues. I mean, my only big concern is this market is big and it's getting quite sexy, and it goes back to my first question. My question to you on institutions will look at this and they will find their means of tapping into that same borrower base that you're going after now. So you either make your economic terms more favorable, or the banks will be. I'm feeling that banks will be coming in and snatching up some of your market.
Yeah, I mean it's a space which is extremely hot now, so everybody's running after it. There's huge competition. Even in Hong Kong, here there's no competition. I know half a dozen firms are actually doing it right now. There's even funds or created on B2B lending for actual Hong Kong investors. So I think it's really a crowded space. I think it's going to be difficult. I think it's a costly business because the cost for acquisition actually is extremely high, the cost for it. So I think if I can give advice, the differentiation factor really has to come from either the credit scoring methodology, which has to be quite unique, or they have an alternative way of acquiring customers.
See, and then we heard from Swappy, the nearby marketplace to trade pre-loved items using AI.
Well, I thought the page was very good for this concept. It was very clear. I guess the verticals are something of a concern. I mean, baby care and gadgets are really polarizing. But even if you max out that market, where can you go to next? For myself at least, and at least for my friends, I think they haven't really bought that many secondhand goods. So I'll be curious to see where you see the value for additional secondhand items being placed on the marketplace.
Yeah, I agree. I think to add to that, I really like the concept actually. I think it can work. However, I think you need to be extremely focused on your user base. I mean, typically you could probably say you started with the expat community. The expat community in Hong Kong is pretty large, and people come and go pretty frequently. They are ready to pay a high premium to swap or sell goods or buy used goods. Maybe that's an angle to take, and probably more broaden your product range.
Great platform, great idea. I would use it, and also good presentation. Looking at very similar ideas, not just in Hong Kong, but around the world, it is popular. But monetization, I know you've done something pretty interesting there with expirations and a time limitation. So that's useful. But you will struggle to maintain that monetization strategy, and so you have to think of alternatives. I mean, one thing that maybe we touched upon earlier was the quality of the goods and any liability over the platform. So insurance could be a possibility to at least have another way for you to monetize.
Okay, and the last company we had was Nextpack, Universal Open IoT Platform. So what are your feedback on it, Roland?
Can I get one? Is there any more left on Kickstarter? Who wants one? Hands up.
So here is actually one of our prototypes for the iPhone 6. Here's one for our S5. You can see in the moment I have multiple models.
Okay guys, sorry, no pitching. Just give it to Roland.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Cool.
we'll play with it later. Yeah.
I'll leave it in the mode for you.
Okay, so any feedback other than one?
I think it's cool. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's really an interesting idea. I think it's great. I think the problem for me, which I see, and probably a lot of people were asking, oh, why he's always seeing problems here. But the reality is you have to see problems because the pitch is always great, but you need to solve them. I think it's going to be the adoption risk. The reality is a lot of brands are thinking about this. You have Samsung, you have Apple, you have Google with multi-billion dollars research budgets and R&D, etc. You really have to either build a community base, or you say, okay, I'm creating a brand or user adoption pretty quickly, or you offer something which they can't offer. I think you really have to dig down and really think of how you want to position yourself in that market. But other than that, I think it's a great product and a great idea.
Okay, thank you very much, judges. So now we have to bring you to a room over there to tabulate your scores and also to announce our final winner. So just follow my colleague Shivani over there. Okay, while the judges are tabulating the scores. Right now, as you know, this is an event that's lead up to our conference in Tokyo. And we're going to have a conference looking at 2,000 people going to attend, both startup founders and also investors. So now let's take a look at the